Hi, I am Kamane Sorizawa from French Bread. I am the director of the Under Night series.
How's the team feeling about the response to Under Night Embirth 2 system Celes here at EVO? This game launched earlier this year and it had a huge turnout of competitors. And what has been the team's response to the feedback so far on the game?
So, of course, we're really happy to have been picked again for EVO. So, in the past, our game has been a main stage EVO title, and we really got to understand that there are a lot of fans in the West for our Under Night games. But this time, we have even more people signing up, and that makes us even happier. Speaking for the team, they're ecstatic from the bottom of their hearts. They're truly grateful for the response from the community.
At this stage of the game, we've had the base roster, but we've also had the additions of Tsurugi, Kuon, was it Kaguya? What has the response been like to the new characters that have joined on top of the base roster so far, and how has the team been feeling about the balancing of the game with the addition of the new cast?
So as for the new three, beginning with Kaguya, she was a character that's been in this story before at the very least, and so there was, of course, an impetus to try and put her in the game as a playable character. And as we were putting her together and we put out the announcement, there was a lot of positive reaction from the fans towards that character, and the team was extremely relieved to see that the character was being so well received, which then leads into the next character. So Tsurugi was the next character, and while he had shown up in the scenario mode before, you didn't really know what he could do other than that he was a big, strong character. So we really pushed that forward, making him, as big and powerful of a character that he could possibly be played as. Again, nobody knew the type, but putting him out the way that we did, it was a really good response that we got from the community. Again, seeing just exactly the type of character he ended up being. So lastly, Kuon. He's the story's last boss and someone that we were really looking forward to being able to put into the game. And for those who play him, of course, he will feel like a last boss type character. So his moves go a long way to display exactly that sort of feeling, that sort of sense of what character he is. And so we're really happy to be able to put him forward, and really happy to see people be able to finally get their hands on this character.
And at this point, we have the next three characters in Under Night Embirth 2 revealed. We know who's coming. Where did the team start with developing the ideas for who was going to be in the game? Did it begin with the characters themselves as their part in the story, or was it more of realizing concepts or mechanics that weren't represented in the game by the rest of the cast yet?
For the DLC characters, of course, we have the three. We have Uzuki, Ogre, and Izumi. So for Uzuki, she showed up a little bit in the story prior, and even from that little bit, fans really were interested in what she was and what she could do, and really wanted to be able to use her. So you could say that from just that information of her level of popularity, we chose to include her as an additional character, as a DLC character in the game. That is why she was included, because she was in the story and she seemed very popular. Moving on to Ogre, he's also a character who showed up in the story, but we really wanted to think about what kind of character is he in battle. As a personality type, he's a very cool, laid-back sort of character, but comes across as a very, overwhelmingly powerful sort of person. So when determining how to make this character, we need to introduce, that sense of power as well as that sense of being very cool. And we can't really say more until he's more put together at this point, but that's where we are on that. Then finally, Izumi. Izumi is a completely new, completely unknown character. We figured that using just old characters isn't a great idea to continue along a story, so we made this completely new one is somebody that we can use to, propel the narrative of Under Night. So what we did is we ended up creating something that just the character itself, who they are, what their background is, and then starting from there, we chose what sort of mechanics and sort of systems we could attach to the character. So whereas the first two are characters that come from story first and then became mechanics, this character was built ground up from who they are and then had mechanics that we felt appropriate attached to them.
As Under Night Embirth 2 continues along its development, continues along its post-game content, will we continue to see mostly characters as far as post-launch content, or is there a chance? Is the team considering anything such as new modes, new moves for the main character, or even new mechanics that might appear in the battles later in the game's life cycle?
So we can't really talk too much beyond what we have on the plate as it is. So we know that a lot of people we hear a lot of fans want to get more characters into the game, and we can't say anything right at this stage, unfortunately. But beyond just new characters, we've been working pretty hard on just getting the battle mode right where we want it to be. But we're thinking hard about, moving a little further into things like furthering the story mode and things along those lines.
It's an interesting conversation about characters too right now. There's been a lot of developers are working with each other these days, and Under Night itself, as well as Melty Blood, have been no strangers to guest characters in the past. Does the team foresee the possibility of pursuing further guest characters in Under Night 2 in the future?
Yeah, I would say that it's possible that we could include future guest characters as well. It would be fun if we could, and it's something that we would like to think about doing. But as we said before, we can't really say anything about future plans, as we're still working on what we have right now. But yeah, there's a lot of people who like the setting of the game and what it's able to bring. So we would need to think about a character that would fit properly into the setting that we have. That being said, our CEO, Mr. Narita, really likes collaborations, so that's something that is not a hard subject to broach with him.
Under Night and Melty Blood having gained popularity here in the West, and with the French Bread games continuing to show up on the main stage at EVO, where do you hope to see Under Night and even just French Bread as a whole when it comes to as far ahead as EVO 2025?
Of course, if we get chosen for EVO 2025, that would make us incredibly happy. So, we make this game for the fans, and we would love to announce more things for them. And, when you have a big tournament like EVO, you want to be able to show those announcements on the big stage. So, yeah, if we could be chosen again, wanting to make those fans happy means, being able to make those big announcements on a big stage. So we work hard for the fans, and we work hard for that specific reason.